What's up everyone and welcome back to the World History Channel. Today let's get started. Life as a Wild West saloon girl. Dancing, prostitution and danger. The image of Wild West saloon girls evokes a sense of mystery and allure, penned into history as part of the vibrant tapestry of frontier life. These women played an essential role in the culture of the Old West, and their stories reveal more than just the glamour and grit found in Hollywood depictions. Living in a time of rugged independence, saloon girls were a staple of the bustling establishments scattered across the frontier. These women had skills that went far beyond bartending, which consisted of more than just providing tired cowboys and miners with drinks. In the raucous saloon environment, many were entertainers who captivated patrons with song and dance. Yet, their roles extended further, with some engaging in prostitution, a harsh reality often dictated by the limited opportunities available to women of that era. Their lives were challenging, dealing with the precariousness of a lifestyle that could transition from celebration to conflict in an instant. Take a look at what it was like to be a saloon girl in the Wild West to learn more about these women's true grit and complexity. This exploration offers insights into their daily experiences, revealing the blend of resilience, talent, and survival that defined their lives on the frontier. Sex work was dubiously legal. It was up to individual jurisdictions in the Old West to determine whether houses of ill repute were legal. According to some historians, the practice was widely accepted. To run their businesses, ladies only needed licenses. The money from the licenses made sure the city made money. Other historians noted bordellos had to pay fines, usually about $8 a month, to local governments to stay in business. Many authority figures seemingly chose to overlook these establishments because they supported the local economy. Many saloon girls sold drinks, and nothing more. A common misconception exists that all saloon girls also turned tricks. In fact, a lot of the women who worked in saloons made money not from sex but from selling drinks. Drinks usually cost between 10 and 75 cents. And for each beverage sold, the saloon girls made a percentage of the profit. By marking up beverage costs, saloon owners could profit and pay their female employees. A saloon girl could earn around $10 per week, almost $200 today. Men generally respected saloon girls. There was a good deal of social stratification in the Old West, even among women. Those considered proper ladies fit the social expectations of the time. They were wives, mothers, and daughters, and most relied on men for support. Saloon girls were looked down upon by women with more traditional roles, but that didn't seem to matter much to the men who sought their company. Saloon girls made up a small population of the Old West, and were therefore sought after by men. Their low social status often even made male patrons feel comfortable around them. Moreover, saloon owners often required customers to treat the women nicely. Mistreatment could result in being banned from the establishment, ostracized from the community, or even killed. The saloon girls had a wide variety of jobs. Saloon girls were responsible for a wide range of tasks and wore a variety of hats. Instead of exchanging sex for money, saloon and dance hall girls entertained men through other methods, usually singing, talking, and dancing. Shady ladies were the actual sex workers of the day, and they could work for madams or be independently employed. Women in brothels held a somewhat higher status in society, and typically worked in businesses that didn't hide their true intentions. Shady ladies might also work alongside the saloon girls who didn't provide adult companionship. The job could get dangerous. Though many women took jobs in saloons to escape farm labor, they could still face danger. Violent deaths were a hazard of the job. Men sometimes became possessive over the women or demanded more than the saloon worker wanted to give. A customer allegedly beat and abused a saloon girl, according to one story. She told people she could take the physical assault, but the insult hurt. Many were eventually considered too old for the job and often had nowhere to turn. Some died from suicide, sickness, or overdose. Saloon girls had a variety of nicknames. There were a high number of euphemisms for the saloon girls who sold adult experiences. Some people called the women ceiling experts, soiled doves, or horizontal employees. And because these women tended to wear eye-catching makeup, They might also be called painted ladies. Employees of saloons were also referred to as sporting women, or ladies of the line. These nicknames let people talk about the profession without really talking about it. Saloon girls made daring fashion choices. Though Victorian style, and thus the fashion of the Old West, was often ornate and complex, it was more demure than the trends of previous decades. However, saloon women rarely wore conservative attire. The clothes that saloon girls wore were meant to be flashy and entertaining. In spite of tradition, the ladies wore visible, colorful petticoats. Their bright skirts and shorter hemlines caught the eye. Their dresses stopped at the knee or shin, although floor-length skirts or skirts with trains were typically more appropriate. Saloon girls' outfits also included visible garters and stockings, which were customarily considered underclothes. Men often purchased drinks for saloon girls. In the Wild West, saloon girls were expected to talk to the lonely men, provide them with drinks, and entertain them. Male customers frequently attempted to buy drinks for women who paid attention to them, but owners of saloons couldn't let their employees get drunk on the job. However, bar owners slyly substituted tea or colored water that resembled liquor for the drinks men ordered for saloon girls because they did not want to lose valuable sales. Saloon girls could then drink with every customer without getting drunk, and continue making money from each sale. Dance hall girls were paid to dance with men. Dance halls began to appear in the region starting in 1849, offering many of the same appeals as saloons. Dance halls had additional boons, though. Dancing partners. Visitors could purchase a ticket for about $1. The tickets could be redeemed for dances with women employed by the business. The dancers made money from each ticket and earned a percentage of each drink they sold after the dance. Dancers who were especially sought after might make a great deal of money. More than a man might make in a month, with some 50 dances per night. Owners feared losing their employees to customers. The saloon girl occupation offered many women of the era a relatively comfortable existence, but it wasn't necessarily a lifelong career. And with no shortage of bachelors trying to strike it rich in the Old West, many saloon girls sought to increase their fortune by getting married to one of these men, and their closeness with patrons gave them plenty of opportunities. To prevent the women from potentially falling in love and leaving the saloon or dance hall, saloon owners might limit the amount of time a male patron could spend with any particular woman. This way, the individuals couldn't get to know one another well, and the women were less likely to leave. Shady ladies sometimes faced ostracization. In the 19th century, social conceptions of sexuality were rigid. Certain people believed adult intercourse was solely for procreation, so shady ladies, or women who exchanged sex for money, might be seen as detrimental to society. Sex work was sometimes one of the few options for women in the era, though. If they were widowed, for instance, shady ladies could still keep their families afloat, charging anywhere from $1 to $50 for sexual experiences. Sex work could take place in brothels or on the street. Photo. Unknown Wikimedia Commons public domain. Sex work could take place in brothels or on the street. People might assume saloon girls worked under the noses of the local authorities. Sex work was a legitimate form of income in the Old West, though, and many communities were unincorporated territories without proper governance. Some historians suggest about 25% of the population participated in sex work, usually in brothels or parlor houses. The parlor houses advertised their services with hanging red lanterns and often included game rooms or dancing for those anticipating service. While women on the streets were left to fend for themselves, bouncers provided security for women in these establishments. Sometimes, women who aged out of traditional desirability moved into small houses and continued to work for the madams who previously employed them.